What's up, whiskey lovers? It's day 4. So, if you enjoyed yesterday's one, you would have seen that I'm now trying a Tasmanian one. I gave it away last night. This is the Hellyers Road Distillery, and this is the Peated single malt. Now, one thing that I will make clear at the start of this is that I generally do not enjoy much of the peated whiskey. Now, there are some, there are some that I do sometimes have, but nothing really smoky. Now, I'm being told that this isn't a heavy peated one. I'm able to take Talisker 10, and I quite enjoy that. It's been a long time since I've had that, so I'm not even going to compare this to a Talisker or any of the smoky stuff because I'm just not really skilled up or knowledgeable about them. But yeah, I've been told to have a bit of water, try it without the water, and then try it with water and see what I like. These guys have won a ton of awards, absolutely ton of awards. I can smell the peat now already. They've won a ton of awards in the history, and it's only a short history, I guess, for a whiskey distiller to be around. So to give you a bit of an idea, this one is a Tasmanian whiskey. I'm not too sure if I mentioned that. It is a 46.2%, and they are in 700ml bottles. The price range is around 110 to around 140 bucks. Tasmanian whiskies. Look, when I'm talking about value for money here, and when I'm giving ratings and stuff like that, these are not mass-produced bottles like your, the Bladnocks or the Highland Parks or the Jamisons and those kind of things. These are generally smaller factories that are making these, and obviously the price point is completely different. So when people say that Australian whiskey is way overpriced, I understand that they're saying that it is overpriced because they're used to paying, say, $70 for the same kind of whiskey that you'll pay 120 to 140 bucks for. Sometimes, yeah, it's double the price, but it is local, and that's what I'm trying to do, support local. And I just enjoy it. I think there's something a bit, patriotic about it. Are we allowed to say patriotic in Australia? I think we are. You just want to support local and do the right thing. And I've just become a fanboy of Australian whiskey. So anyways, enough rambling. So to give you a bit of an idea, this is an American Oak Ex Bourbon cask. It is a peated whiskey, and as I mentioned about the price. Now, a bit of history about it. So it's actually named after Henry Hellier, who discovered the land, carved it out, did whatever he did for it. It was originally a dairy farm until about 1996. Now, again, if I get that time period wrong, please comment, let me know, and I'll fix that up. But it was a dairy farm before all of this, and as the laws changed and a little bit more relaxation on discovering or being able to distill alcohol in Tasmania, they decided to change it up and no longer do dairy farming. There's probably some cows there, I'm not too sure. I'd love to go down and see. I would have come down in August, but hey, here we are. Thank you, COVID. So if you know anything about, if you're overseas right now and you might have heard a couple of Tasmanian whiskies. Sullivan's Cove is huge overseas. They get huge money, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 for some of the bottles. Tasmania has some of the best food in Australia. It has some of the best water in Australia. It has some of the best alcohol in Australia. But everything, the climate is perfect for it. They get a lot of rain. Just everything really works well for things like cattle farming and milking and all those kind of things. So anyways, let's get into it. Excuse me. So the color on this one, Let's try and use a farming term. We'll go a light straw color. Just looks yellow, like the rest of them, but just looks a little bit lighter. Okay, that's slowed down after sitting there for a little while. But it's got a very small smoke flavor, nose to it. You know what? It's kind of like being at a campfire when the fire is not actually going in your face, which is nearly impossible to have. So you probably never smelt that because no matter where you sit in front of a fire, it always goes with you. But it's just that very slightly smoky kind of smell. All right. A bit of oily. Yeah, anyways. It's very rich. It's got a very vanilla-ishy kind of... No, not vanilla. It's something sweet at the end. But the peat doesn't overpower it. This actually reminds me of a Highland Park. Because my Highlands that I've had so far, they're not really heavily peated. This smells heavier than what it actually tastes. All right. Well, just a little bit extra from what I normally do just because it is a peated, and see if it does change it. It's oily legs on there. Okay, so it's calmed down the smoke again. Ooh. Now with water, that brings it down to something that I do enjoy. So originally, as it sat, look, it was okay. It was not as nice as what a Highland Park is. But with the water, that's actually really good. The finish on that, there's a bit of spiciness on the tongue. That lingers for quite some time. But that's it. The rest of the flavors kind of disappear pretty quickly. So it is a short finish on it. Would I buy that? I think look, if I could pick it up for $110, I would definitely add that into the collection through here, because obviously I'm trying to build a bit more of the Australian whiskies. But for me, I definitely would have to have it with water, just to mellow it out a little bit. So if you're not a peat fan like me, so far, this is one of the better ones that I've had. So I would recommend going out, grabbing this one. You can get it directly from the Tasmanian website, or anyway, the Hellyers website, and have a look at some of the other stuff they've got. Woof, sorry, the peat's coming up on me. The other whiskies that they have there, I've had one before when I was in Melbourne. Mind you, probably had a few too many whiskies before that. And I think it was the Pinot Noir cask, and it was fantastic from what I can remember. It wasn't a peaty one at all. So if you are interested in having a look at what else they've got, jump on and yeah, enjoy the whiskey. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow. We've got another Australian whiskey. And again, if I make any mistakes, if you have any questions, or if you want to see me taste an Australian whiskey, then please leave a comment and make sure you subscribe. Catch you tomorrow.